A warm welcome to the students. I am Chef Preeti Sinha. Today I am going to demonstrate you brown sauce, another name which it is known as espagnole. So espagnole sauce is a basic brown sauce and is one of Auguste Escoffier's 5 mother sauce of classic French cooking. Espagnole has a very strong taste and is rarely used directly on food. As a mother sauce, it is served as a starting point for many derivatives. This sauce is more complicated than your bechamel or velouté because it is the starting point for the hearty, flavorful sauces that accompany your red meats. So it is very necessary to give it an extra flavor and richness with meat pawa. It is typically made from brown stock, meat pawa, which is sauteed in bacon fat and the drippings of the mutton bones, the roasting of mutton bones, and tomato puree, and it is thickened with roux. Let's start with the procedure and look at the ingredients which we are going to use for this recipe. So for the ingredients for today's recipe, what I am using over here is brown stock. The very important point that the brown stock should be of very good quality. It should be made with a very nice or intense flavor. Then I am using meat pawa, in that carrots, around 50 gram, onion 100 gram. Then I am using celery, bay leaf, tomato puree over here around 30 gram, bacon fat over here, bacon trimmings 30 gram. Then I am using mutton fat over here, which I have taken from the roasting of mutton, that drippings I have collected and that we are going to use because it will give a more intense flavor, more hearty flavor to the our sauce. Then aromatics, for that I am using thyme, fresh thyme I am using, which will give again another good flavor, and parsley stalks. For the roux I am using flour 30 gram, butter 30 gram. So these are the overall ingredients which we are going to use today for the making. So we are going to start with the making of roux. So let's start with the with the procedure of making roux for the brown sauce. For that I have kept a pan for heating. Now the pan is heated nicely, so I am going to start with the procedure. Let's add the butter to it. As the butter is started melting, I am going to add the flour to it. Let it melt. Let's add the flour to it. I am going to cook the roux. So what is the roux actually? Roux is a cooked mixture of flour and butter, or equal quantity of flour is butter which is cooked. So there are various degrees in that we cook the roux as per what sauce we are making. As slowly we have to keep stirring it and keep cooking it till it gets a nice brown color. As you can see, the roux has obtained the blonde color. We have to cook little more degree to make the brown sauce. It needs to be brown color. So I am going to cook carefully little more. Keep stirring. as you can see, I'm continuously stirring and the color has become from blonde to little darker. Will cook little bit more than this, because as the name also says, the brown sauce. So the base is your brown stock and the roux also. The nice light brown color has already come. We'll keep stirring it to obtain the desired degree of color of the roux. It should happen at a very slow and gradual heat, otherwise we'll end up burning the roux. Keep stirring. Now, as we can see, the roux is almost ready. So let's take it out. We are going to cool it down. This is how even cooked roux should be ready for making brown sauce. Now next step we are going to do is, we are going to prepare the meat pawa, which will be cooked in the bacon fat and the mutton fat. So let's start the procedure for that. So now, to begin with the process, I am going to add the mutton fat to it. In that, I am going to add bacon fat, which will give a very nice and deep flavor. Let's let it saute till it gets little pinkish color. Try not to do it on a very high heat, otherwise it will burn. So we need to be very careful about it. We want the saute flavor, roasted flavor. We don't want the burn flavor. So as it will cook, it will give its deep flavor to the mutton fat. Keep stirring so it will not stick at the bottom and burn, and all the sides will evenly cook. Now as you can see, I'm going to put a meer pawa in that. First I'm going to put onions to it. Now we are going to saute the onion until now as it has become slight pink, we are going to add the carrot to it. We are going to saute that also nicely. We need to stir constantly. Over here we want to bring the, as I told you, a nice brown color. So if mee pawa is also sauteed nicely, it will give a very hearty and nice flavor. In that I am putting cloves and peppercorns. Spices add a earthy flavor to it. As we are cooking, it is changing from pink to light brown. Brown sauce is, as I told you, it's a very complicated sauce and it needs a lot of skill, lot of practice. And a lot of care needs to be taken while we are making it. Your attention, your raw material should be absolutely there. The raw material should be of good quality, so the end product will come out good. Bay leaf is trying to add little bit. Nice aroma it will give. As I can understand by the fragrance, it's a beautifully it is roasting in the good fat. Even in the industry also, if you see, like if you find out, very well skilled and knowledgeable person does all these basic sauces preparation, and it is not done in a in a jiffy or in a shorter time. It's a well planned and time consuming preparation, because this is your base for the next dishes which you are going to use it on that. Now it's time to add the celery. Now we have added all the meat pova ingredients. You need to be very careful, because as we have added green, the celery will splutter because it is adding little moisture, so it might splutter on you. So be careful when you are preparing. Along with hygiene, safety is very important. You can see how beautifully the brown roasting color has come. This is how we need to roast our meat pova. As we are reaching, you can see, to the desired browning of the meat pova. It has come a beautiful a little 2-3 minutes more of sauteing, and after that we are going to add our next ingredient, which is our aromatics, parsley stalk and a fresh thyme, which will give a again very fresh and beautiful flavor to our brown sauce. Just we'll saute for half a second, so it will release the flavor. After that we are going to add the next ingredient, which is our tomato puree, which will give a very deep color and a nice flavor to our brown stock. Now I am going to add around 2 teaspoons of the tomato puree is good enough to add in this recipe. Again, we are going to cook it a little bit. Students, be careful when you are adding all these things. Just we have to roast till a little roasting, so the rawness of the tomato gets cooked, and keep stirring so it will not stuck at the bottom. All sides of the pan needs to be scraped down, so all the ingredient will cook evenly. Now, after a little bit saute of that, I am going to add the brown roux. Now we'll mix all the ingredients properly, so all the flavor is going to infuse with each other. Just 1 or 2 minutes cooking, and after that we are going to add our very flavorful or hearty brown stock to it, which I have already prepared and kept it. Now at this stage I am going to add the stock. So let's start adding it. At a time, we are not going to add too much. As you add, mix it nicely. Now it is mixed, the earlier one, add little more. When we add a lesser quantity at a time, it reduces the risk of lumps formation. The roux, the purpose of roux was, as I told you, it is a thickening agent, and the roasting of the meat pova is giving a nice beautiful brown color, plus obviously the very hearty, flavorful and brown stock, which is the heart of that dish. As you can see, beautiful glaze, a shine, and very beautiful the sauce is coming up. Make sure that you mix all the ingredients evenly. Around 750 ml I am adding it to it, and then we are going to reduce it. We are going to simmer it and we are going to reduce it to again obtain a deep flavor of the brown sauce. I think this is almost 750 ml of brown stock I have added. Now we are going to let it simmer. First I will take one boil and then I am going to simmer it to extract all the flavor and from the meat pova, from the aromatics, and it will become a nice beautiful sauce. As we can see, the small bubbles have started coming. A lot of patience and care needs to be kept while we are making brown sauce. Now as you can see, the boil has come. After that I am going to simmer it for a while, and then we are going to strain it for the final sauce. So I am just making the heat low, and as the heat is low, the bubbles which are coming up, it is going to settle down slowly, and it is started simmering. So I am going to simmer it for a while, and then we are going to strain it, and then I will show you the presentation. So let's strain it. So I have prepared the muslin cloth. It is almost it's 2-layered muslin cloth, and a container I have taken. In that it is nicely simmered. Now I am going to pour all the sauce in the strainer, and I am going to strain it. As students, you can see a beautiful glaze or shine has come on the sauce, and look at the consistency. It's a very nice proper consistency, and the sauce has got a beautiful body. When you pour on something or on dish, it should not run off. That kind of a body, that kind of a consistency a sauce requires. So let's plate it for a presentation. As you can see, students, this is a sauce board. In that, traditionally the sauce has been served. This is actually served as an accompaniment with red meat. You can serve it, you can do ragu with this, then stews with this, then roast meat you can do using this sauce. In grill also you can use. So this is how the multiple use of this basic sauce is there. As you can see, we are finished. I'm finished with the demonstration of the espagnole, and you saw while preparing this sauce that it is a skillful and complicated process. So I would suggest, or I would request you student, please watch the video carefully and start preparing it. The more you will prepare, you will acquire the skill of making a good sauce. Now this sauce is also used as a base for so many derivatives. In that, demi-glace is the one. Demi-glace is the derivative of the brown sauce. In that, brown stock and brown sauce are used. Likewise, there are other derivatives also which is made out of or with the use of brown sauce. So students, please like, subscribe, share, and do watch. I have other videos as well in my channel. Please do watch and try the cooking. Have a good day.